didn't do it.
Yes, I did.
No, okay. One more time. 1,
Oh.
1, 2, 3, action. Hello everyone, and welcome to the 3rd episode of Everything, Anything, and Tea, where I basically talk about anything and everything and drink tea. Now today we're going to be talking about something very serious, mental health. Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being and can be tested throughout anyone's life. Today I'll be interviewing someone who's very dear to me, my older sister Imani Alsobrook.
Hey.
Okay. So Imani is very influential to me and others as she strives to tell people about her story and uplift others about theirs. Would you introduce yourself?
Oh yeah. Hi, I'm Imani Alsobrook, her sister. And I'm 20 years old. I'm a junior at Oglethorpe University, and I study film and media studies. And several years ago, I held my own workshops and talks where I visited different middle schools and high schools and spoke about mental health and its importance, as well as share my own story and provided resources to those who want them. Yeah.
So first we're going to go through some questions that basically give you a rundown of what's going to be said throughout this interview. First one, how does school affect someone's mental health?
Well, I can list a few ways. You got just general stress from assignments, like academic stress from homework, like the stupid amount of homework a lot of high schools and middle schools give. Exams, the pressure and high expectations of parents or family members for their child to get good grades, and often that means that they are constantly pushing themselves or having a general just lack of care to their physical needs like sleep and eating, like having like a healthy sleeping schedule and a healthy eating pattern. And of course that affects your mental health like automatically. If you're not sleeping enough, if you're not eating enough, if you're not exercising enough, it's gonna affect the chemistry in your brain. That's just going to happen. Our body's like a machine. You want to make sure everything is running smoothly and you're doing everything that you can to keep it running smoothly. And oftentimes, because of the academic pressure or home life, which we're going to talk about later, oftentimes we neglect it, and that contributes to our mental health. Also, you have bullying and peer pressuring and just all of that from just interacting or lack of interacting with peers and classmates. It's a lot, and honestly it varies from person to person.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you kind of touched on it, but how is the way someone's raised, how does that affect someone's mental health?
Well, I can say it obviously does affect mental health. Like, it depends on how your parents or guardians like raised you, the different parenting styles they used. From, let's see, I can name them. You got authoritarian, which is just like the because I said so. You have the authoritative, which is the more of like, okay, you have a problem, let's talk it out, let's come up with a solution type thing, like open dialogue. You have neglectful, where they just kind of I don't want to deal with you, I'm not talking to you. They just do not care or barely help with their child's needs. And then you have, what was the last one?
Free range parents?
Something like that. It has another technical term that I do not remember right now. I took psychology my first year of college before I switched over to film and media studies. It's more, I'm not, okay, correct me and what, the comics, if I'm wrong. Comics.
Yeah.
Wow, comics. But it's more like a passive way of parenting, where they're just kind of like, we're friends, basically. Parents and their kids are friends. And that just, each parenting style, just the way that parents raise their child can affect their mental health and how they interact with the world around them. And of course, that interaction directly impacts just the way they see things or the way that they feel. So, yeah.
So, what is your take on therapy?
I definitely believe that people should get therapy. They should talk to a licensed professional at least once. But I am aware that the healthcare system is horrible.
Yeah.
And therapy, like just basic stuff like therapy, is ridiculously expensive. And if you are fortunate to afford therapy, like I am, like, please use it. And I know that even if you are able to afford therapy, it's really important that you are comfortable with your therapist. Like, this is somebody that you're basically trusting with your information, and therapy is very confidential. They won't say anything unless it's something that is life-threatening, like unless you say something that is life-threatening to either yourself or someone else. But get it. If you can get therapy, get it, because it's always important, at least to me, that you're able to talk to somebody about what's going on in your head or what's going on in your life, especially like a professional who knows what they're talking about. So yeah.
But if you can't get a professional, it's also good to go to someone that you trust.
Right. Like a teacher,
Parent,
older sibling, and someone that you can trust with someone you can trust with this information.
Next, how does social media affect someone's mental health?
Well, first of all, I'm sure that there's like a bunch of talks on this already, and I feel like we're just gonna reiterate everything that people have said. All of it is pretty much true. It's social media, depending on how you use it, can be very, very, very toxic, especially towards your mental health and how you see yourself and how your interactions are with people. Like, you got Instagram models where they kind of just show a certain body type or a certain look that is honestly unrealistic. Like, everybody has roles. Your stomach's gonna do the thing where it kind of like constricts in yourself. Like, it's nobody's skin is perfect. Nobody looks like goddesses. There's always a flaw somewhere, okay?
It's not just body image too. It's also like, sometimes I scroll on Instagram and I see like pictures and videos of friends hanging out. I get like, oh man, I want to have a movie night. Well, they might just take a picture and then be on their phones for the rest of the night. Social media can be extremely deceiving.
Oh yeah. I'm not really on social media that often, so I'm not like, the best expert about it. I barely post on my Instagram that I've had for a really long time. It's been about 3 years since the last post, but definitely bring more people on your show and talk more about it. But you got, just for mental health, you got body image problems, general pressure to post or to look a certain way, like what Madison said about someone posting like friends hanging out. Just like, sometimes people can get obsessed with putting out a certain image about themselves that is not necessarily true. Sometimes that can be really taxing on someone's mental health. Any other Because you're on social media more than I am.
Of course, lies that people be saying on TikTok, like how to go about your day, how to lose weight in certain areas. I was one of those victims, like early quarantine, I wanted to, get fit or whatnot, so I would look at videos that are like, what is it called? Where you want to lose weight in a specific area, like arms is a technical term to it, but it doesn't work. But you got all these people, all these already fit people saying like, hey, if you do arm circles for 30 seconds, you're gonna lose arm fat in a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So just blatant lies.
Blatant lies. And they get extremely popular from it. Spot training, that's what it is. Spot training. Yeah. Like if I want to do an exercise to get the arm fat out, I just go like that for 30 seconds a day. Honey, no. Simply no. So just basic lies that come out of social media is also one of those. Mm-hmm. We could go on and on about this, honestly. Yeah. Let's go to the next category. These are more personal questions.
Sorry, go ahead.
These are more personal questions about your life. So it's gonna get deep in here.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. When were you diagnosed with your anxiety and depression?
Your anxiety and depression.
This is not funny, y'all. Okay. When were you diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and were there signs from a much earlier age?
Finally. I was diagnosed with depression first in 8th grade. I was 14 years old, and I probably, and I still have to have another assessment on this, I probably had anxiety, or just symptoms of a generalized anxiety disorder since I was like elementary school. So I've always had problems with this, and it got worse just in middle school when you're going through puberty and all the hormones are like, hey, let's have a party and like completely mess up my body structure and etc. And it wasn't a good time. So it progressively got worse and worse, starting from middle school, starting from 6th grade. And it got even worse because I basically didn't know what was going on with me, and I couldn't talk to my parents because honestly they didn't even believe me. So I'm still struggling with it, and I'm still learning about myself and learning about this mental illness called depression. And I'm currently still in therapy. It's been 6 years now, but I'm still in therapy, and I'm currently taking an SSRI antidepressant called Lexapro, and that's helping me with both my anxiety and my depression, and it's been about 2 years.
Before you were able to get therapy, what did you sort of turn to?
Well, I didn't really have anybody I could really talk to about it. Like I said, my parents didn't really believe me for a long time, and my friends were stupid 12, 13 to 14-year-olds, so I mean, they were stupid. We were all young and stupid. We didn't understand. We didn't understand what was going on with our own bodies. So how can I help out a friend who's actually going through some real crap? Like, I don't blame them. I never did, but it was definitely difficult. So I'm a pretty creative person. So I basically went to reading. I read a lot of YA fiction. I read a lot of dork diaries, Time with the Kid. I also wrote a lot. and I did a little drawing. It was kind of like my safe, outlet, and it was just something for me to just get it out, just get all my emotions out. But of course, it's not a complete solution. I still struggled a lot.
What was life like before you were diagnosed? Was it very confusing? Like, why am I going through these feelings? And once you were diagnosed, did your perspective change of yourself?
Before I got diagnosed, it was really confusing. Especially when it came to interacting with my family. I was sad all the time. I was irritated some days, didn't want to get out of bed others, and it didn't help in 6th grade. I was also bullied, because I was so quiet, and my parents were like, "What's going on, Imani? What happened to that happy girl you once were? Now you're all sad and withdrawn. Like, what's going on?" And I also, a few times when I expressed my emotions, they were just like, "You're being overdramatic. So there's really nothing going on with you." So I was just confused, and I just guilted myself, but I also wanted to put up a very strong demeanor for my little siblings, because they were really young at that time, and I still do it. Yeah, I still do it because it's difficult for me. It's become a habit. I don't want to see my little siblings. I don't want my little siblings to see me struggling. Because I'm the big sister, so that's another pressure, not a pressure. What was the second part of that question?
Once you were diagnosed, did your perspective change on yourself?
Not really. It was just more like, oh, cool, now what? I was, again, 14. I barely understood what depression meant. And yeah, I wish I can put a label on it.
Yeah, so, like, did it sort of open your mind to, like, did the confusion sort of go away? Like, once you're like, oh, okay, this is what's happening to me. You just say you didn't have, like, a full understanding of what it was, but did you have some sort of, I don't want to say comfort in knowing what it was, but comfort in knowing what it was?
I mean, now I do. Mm-hmm. Now I'm just like, oh, I have depression. Oh, I know what the symptoms are. Oh, okay, I'm going through a certain spiel because X, Y, and Z, something serotonin. Like, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. But back then it was just more like, I didn't really know how to deal with talking to people about this, and I honestly thought there was still nothing wrong with me because I was told that repeatedly. And only recently I've actually realized that, yeah, I do have challenges, but that's okay. I'm still getting through it, and sometimes it's difficult, but it's okay. It's okay.
Basically, the next question is, compared to how you were then with opening up in therapy, how are you now? And do you feel a little bit more comfortable? You just got a new therapist, but do you feel a little bit more comfortable in opening up? Like, it's been 6 years now?
I mean, yeah. But it's not necessarily something that I'm just like, yeah, I can open up and I can share my life story. No, I don't enjoy doing it. Actually, my therapist that I'm at now, he's pretty cool. He's my first male therapist. I recently got him, I think it's about a year now. But before that, I had another therapist. She was only there for like a month because I aged out of the insurance. And then before that, I had another therapist, and I was with her for about 3 years. So it's not fun getting to know someone all over again and uprooting traumas that I really don't want to think about. and just having to talk about it again. It's not fun. I don't wish that on anybody, especially if something really horrible has happened to you. But so I wouldn't. I still that reluctance is still there, but now I know it's something that I have to do if I want to get help. So
thank you so much for sharing that.
yeah.
That was the end of the personal questions.
Cool, I made it.
Yeah. Let's drink some tea on that. Delicious. This next category is advice for other people.
Okay.
Okay. First one. In what way do you think you should come up to someone or help someone who is struggling with their mental health?
That one is, first I'm gonna do my best with all these questions. It depends on each person, but don't be like, ayo, you need help, like mentally, like
No, people would do that in school. Like,
yeah, just don't do
I'm
that.
Depressed.
Are
like,
you depressed?
No,
do you wanna
Susie, go
talk?
away.
Like excuse you? No, don't do that. Do not. Okay. I'm just thinking because somebody did that to me once. Like, are you depressed? Do you want to talk about it? You don't have to do it like that, but you should still be like open and be like, hey, I am here if you ever want to talk about anything. But what you don't do, and this happened to me recently, what you don't do is just be like, you have to talk to me. Like, you're not talking to anybody else. You have to talk to me. I just want to know what's going on because I care about you. No. They don't have to talk to you. They have to want to seek help. They have to want to find this help. You can't force someone to talk to you about these things. Just like a therapist can't force their patient to talk about everything. If you really feel like they're struggling, provide resources. Like, do you want to go to a school guidance counselor one day? I'll take you there. Do you want to, here, I found this resource that I think is very, that helps. Hey, do you want to go walking one day in silence? Do you want some food? Do you, care for them? But don't force anything, because that's only going to make it worse, honestly. Like, recently I had a spat with a friend because she was just like, why don't you tell me everything, Imani, what's going on? Like, I care about you. And I'm like, I get that, but I need to figure out on my own. If I want to talk to you about something, I will. And that provides a boundary. You don't want to, the last thing that you want to do is somebody struggling with a mental health issue, do not break their boundaries, because it's going to get worse. And they're going to resent you, and they may even resent themselves. It's difficult. When you have a storm in your brain, you don't want any outside forces just making it worse. So be gentle, be kind. But make sure they know that you are there for them. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes. What would you recommend to someone who is going through mental health issues but doesn't know how to stabilize them in any way without therapy?
Be kind to yourself. Like, if you feel like, well, obviously I don't know what a certain person may be going through their daily lives, but if you're really struggling with depression, find time out of the day where you can find some sort of relaxation, where you can sit back and just breathe and think about the day, or just don't think about the day at all. Find that time for yourself. And please talk to people that you trust. Last thing you want to do is go through this challenge by yourself. It's really lonely. I know.
I'm sure it's
What's the thing? Oh yeah. Be kind. Shit, I was saying something else.
you're basically like, there are other people out there and you're not the only one. It sounds cliche, but at some point, everybody goes through it at different levels too.
Mm-hmm.
But don't feel too alone. What's the word that I'm trying to use?
I don't know.
Invisible.
Yeah. Hey.
And
I'm
people
going
are
through
masking
something. Yeah.
it. People
Yeah.
mask it. You walk into a class full of teenagers, even if they're smiley, happy, doing TikTok videos, like, you never know. And you're not alone.
Yeah, you have no idea what's going on in someone's life, and it's gonna be okay. And like, what I was trying to say is, you're the only person that you really got. Honestly. You okay?
This is so deep.
I mean, yeah, you said you wanted to talk about
Yeah,
mental
'cause-
health for your
oh,
third
shoot.
episode.
I mean, whatever.
Is that recording?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's only getting my voice though, so.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. What would you tell teens today that are questioning their mental health?
What does that mean?
Like, why the heck am I feeling this way? I've never felt this way before. What the heck is going on? I don't want to self-diagnose myself, but I know that this is not okay.
It's a loaded question. I mean,
Extremely.
It's just like, talk to somebody. Because I don't know. You don't want to go on Google and be like, I feel like I
Go
don't
to
know.
BuzzFeed or something.
Don't do that. But sometimes it actually may help. But if you can talk to a professional, do so. Even if it's only once. You know, like I said earlier, like it's a really loaded
And you're
question.
growing, so
You're also
always-
growing. It can also be hormones having a fiesta in your brain
you're
right
not
now.
always
It
gonna
could be anything. Because your body is just like, I'm going to decide to grow boobs. Or I'm going to decide to do X, Y, and Z. Like period time. Or what do boys go through?
their bones hurt.
Their bones hurt. Hey, are you a boy going through puberty? Do your bones hurt?
I think so. I mean, Dylan complains that. Anyways, back to topic. Things are changing for you. It's
Yeah,
not
a
always
lot of
gonna
crap
be
is
the same.
happening. A lot of crap is happening. You're also horny. It's just it's so much. You're trying to find your sexual identity. It's being a teenager is difficult, and I don't want to do that again. I just got out. No, never again. Never again. You can't pay me $1 million to go back in time. No.
Be sitting here as a 15-year-old.
Oh yeah.
Mid-teenager.
Good luck. Anyway.
Okay.
I touched the mic.
Don't touch the mic, Imani.
Sorry.
What would you recommend to someone who is unable to get direct therapy or medication?
But we kind of already answered that. Talk to
I
someone
mean,
who
yeah.
sucks. Like,
Find what you like. Again, you said drawing. You
yeah,
went to-
like find something that makes you happy, that makes you relaxed. Like, do it. But also,
answer.
huh?
Said, yeah, you did answer that.
I sure did. But it's also like find something that you can trust as well. Be it, I don't know. Also, keep a journal.
Journaling. I have like 5, and they're actually pretty great.
Yeah, I don't really keep journals. Well, I'm starting to now. I'm 20 years old. I'm finally starting to journal. But before that, I had like notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks where I just wrote. I just kind of disappeared into different worlds and wrote my own stories. That helped, I guess.
You wrote a lot.
I did write a lot. I wrote a book.
Right. Oh yeah, I wrote a book.
By the way, mine in the middle.
Anyway.
And moving on. I don't like to talk about it. It was 12.
Aw. Okay. Yeah. Next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're podcasting, guys.
Yeah, we are podcasting. Isn't
Never
this
done
great?
this before.
No.
I'm kind of struggling.
You're doing really, really well. I was like, dang, you should be a spokesperson.
No.
I mean, like, because you barely stuttered. I'm over here stuttering over questions. They're right in front of me. Anyways.
Yeah, don't you do auditions and stuff like that? Don't you?
Girl, I don't know what's going on with me today.
Okay.
It's like, what? Monday? It's Sunday.
Is it?
Yeah. That's crazy. Anyways.
Summer be like...
Second to last question of this category. What are some calming strategies that you've learned in your therapy lessons?
Hello. Welcome. I have thrusts. Or kind of. Let's see if I can do my best. All right. So, breathing is very important. I have panic attacks, so I don't breathe.
I mean, keeping it straightforward is true.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was really... The way I said that, I had panic attacks.
You have amazing humor.
Thank you.
Anyways.
I'm depressed. Anyway, breathing is really important. It does calm you down fairly easily. Like, I did yoga for a while, and shout out Yoga with Adrienne. She's great. I like her a lot. She said, like, she basically said it, what I just said, breathing is very important, and if you ever feel overwhelmed or just there's so much going on in your brain or around you, just return to the breath. So what I like to do is I like to do different breathing exercises where, like, the 4 square breaths, breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, release for 4, exhale for 4, and hold it for 4. So that's 4 inhale,
4. 1, 2, 3.
hold it for 4.
1, 2.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Release for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold it again for 4.
4 times.
4 times. Yes. Or at least until you feel better. You can also do the triangle breathing, which is basically like tracing a triangle. So you have breathe in.
No, in.
Oh.
In.
Hold. Breathe out. That just does not sound right. So, like, the first line, breathe
Hold
in.
should be the bottom. So breathe in.
So breathe in, go down, hold at the bottom line, and then breathe out up, and then you repeat. That's triangle. Anyway, so you get that.
Sorry, an upside down triangle would make more sense to breathe in, hold, out.
Yeah, what she said. You also got just other kind of like grounding techniques. You got the 5 senses where you I think it's you look, well, you identify different things, 5 different things with your eyes. So like mug, microphone. I took a minute, I'm like, what is that? Cup.
It's a mug.
Bowl. I need rest. Okay. Mug, microphone, candle, table, camera. And then 4 is touch. I know the last one. Okay, 4 is touch. So what can you touch? Touch the chair, touch the pants, touch this.
Crystals.
Crystals. She's touching the crystal. Okay. 3 is something that you hear.
Water.
I hear the pool outside. I hear me rubbing up against the chair. And then that sound of
Ringing in my ear.
Honey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
And two things that you can smell. I smell. What type of tea is this? You're supposed to say that at the beginning of your podcast.
I am? Oh, well.
This is your podcast. How do you not?
I'm sorry. Well, this is black tea. I have black tea because I have a lot. It has caffeine. I have a lot more to do today, and it's also pomegranate and mango.
Yeah, it's a Tivana Beach Blinny.
Yeah.
Blinny. But yeah, that. Oh, whatever candle this is. Moss and vetiver.
From Five and Below. There was no need for that. There was absolutely no need.
Oh my candles like that. And then finally one thing that you can taste.
Tea.
Moving on. And then also I do another rounding technique where I say my name out loud. So my name is Imani Alsobrook. I say my age. I say my address. And then a couple more facts of myself, my major, where I go to school, where I am currently, and that helps me calm down too. I'm also breathing deep, like having deep inhales as I'm saying it. Sometimes I say it in my head, that helps too. And also just doing like the full body scan. You start from like your toes and you work up to the base of your feet, your ankles, shins, knees, thighs, butt, coochie area, belly, waist, belly, and so forth to the top of your head. And that helps a lot too.
I like that. Oh, that's it for that category. Fun. Okay. So Imani is in college, as she said multiple times. She's going into her junior year.
Oh my god.
Don't you like move in next month?
Yeah. I
So
just
you gotta
realized how
start
old
packing.
I am.
You're very old. Yeah. Anyways, enough with the life contemplation. College questions. You are now in college.
Yes.
This just starts off with, you are now in college.
Okay, yeah.
What was the biggest shift for you coming from graduating on Zoom because of COVID to spending your first year of college online to finally being able to live in a dorm room your sophomore year? Wow.
Considering that like the second half of my senior experience was cut short because of COVID. Remember when they said like 2 weeks?
Oh my god, that was like the worst day too. Like I got in a huge argument with my friend. I was like, whatever, I'll see her in 2 weeks. Psych, never saw her again.
Yeah.
Actually though, I've never.
So my school, I went to a very small school. Shout out the New School Atlanta.
It's called the New School TNS.
Yeah. We had our graduation on Zoom. I believe it was July. So like I was already over it. And then I thought that I was gonna move in my freshman year. Nope. Psych. So when I finally moved in my sophomore year, it was like still kind of had that high school mentality because I never really got that closure, and it was a lot of like a lot of stimulation, a lot of just
Is the tea okay?
I think it was a tea leaf. I'm not sure. Maybe it was your tea making skills. Anyway, I wanted to do everything, and that was stupid. And I really wasn't prepared. I still had the high school mentality, and it's a lot of people who need to touch grass as well. A lot of touch star people. just a bunch of just horny kids on a college campus. It was a lot, but I got a boyfriend really quickly, and I just, I did a lot of things that I just wasn't comfortable with, and I realized that I really wasn't living for myself, and that I really needed to learn how to take care of myself and not worry about others and what they think of me. And that's something that I should have learned in high school, and I didn't. I also didn't really date in high school either, so I was just kind of like, let's do everything, and kind of screwed me over a couple of times. So we missed a lot of like growing up, and I feel like a lot of the freshmen too missed out on their senior year. They also need to grow up too, so it was just
everybody
not a good time.
Everybody coming into a new environment, like again,
New
class
freedom,
you
too.
knew everything. I know we can both speak for our school. She's class of 2020, I'm class of 2025. Like those classes specifically, going into high school, going into college.
Yeah, she missed her 8th grade year.
Yeah.
So
all these new people in high school who didn't get to grow up mentally.
yeah.
It's like we've skipped 2 years of our lives.
Oh yeah, I still feel like it's 2019. I'm 17 right now.
No, really though.
I'm how old?
I'm about to turn 14.
Like, what is this? Like, I don't know, the time skip? Anyway, what's the next question?